Ito ang lugar kung saan kami naghirap at nagdildil ng asin.
This season's gonna be slaves to hold the enemies of democracy accountable.
From the golden age of Philippine cinema to the digital age of TikTok and streaming, our media has always mirrored the Filipino soul. Resilient, emotional, and full of contradictions. But beyond the laughter, drama, and heroism lies a deeper question. How have our stories shaped the way we see gender, power, and justice?
Sorry.
In the early years of Philippine cinema, men ruled the screens. Fernando Poe Jr., the king of Philippine movies, embodied the ideal Filipino man. Brave, principled, and protective of the weak. His characters fought corruption and injustice, but his stories also reinforced a world where men were saviors and women stood behind them.
FAJ's films reflected the values of his time: justice, honor, and family, but they also showed a society where masculinity meant control and femininity meant sacrifice.
Dolphy, the king of comedy, broke barriers in another way. Through humor, he explored gender fluidity before it was even part of mainstream discussion. In Ang Tatay Kong Nanay, he played a gay father raising a child. A touching portrayal that challenged stereotypes of effeminate men as mere punchlines.
Tay, hindi po kayo nahihiya. Tay, ano ba kayo? Lalaki, babae?
Sa'yo, Nonoy, nahihiya ako. Dahil nakita mong ganito itsura ko ngayon. Pero ngayong gabi lang ito.
Dolphy opened doors. Even if the jokes were sometimes outdated, he made Filipinos see queer people as human, as parents, lovers, and friends.
Gumawa ka ng paraan. Buhayin mo siya. Tulungan mo siya.
When teleseries became part of every Filipino household, they brought familiar values to modern screens, like love, betrayal, and moral struggle. But they also repeated old gender patterns: the patient wife, the jealous mistress, and the righteous man.
Teleseries have strong female leads, yes, but most of them are written through pain. What's changing now is that new stories let women define their strength, not just survive.
Shows like Maria Clara at Ibarra started a cultural shift. Through Clay, a Gen Z student transported into Rizal's world, we saw women refusing silence and obedience. It was a powerful bridge between tradition and modern feminism.
Ka-extraño. Hindi pa nga ng Kastila ang F.B. Harrison. Maaaring ito ay wikang Ingles.
Pero, kailan pa nagkaroon ng mga kanyang may pangalang Ingles sa bayang ito?
Sí, tienes razón.
In literature and film, feminist voices rose to challenge silence. Luwalhati Bautista's works Dekada 70 and Bata Bata Paano Ka Ginawa questioned the double standards that women faced. Her heroines fought not just for freedom from dictatorship, but for freedom from gender expectations.
Iyakan natin si Jason. Lahat ng trahedya sa atin. Pwede rin tayong umiyak dahil masaya tayo. Dahil proud tayo bilang mga magulang. Pwede natin pag-usapan ang ating mga anak. Ang lipunan, ang buhay. Pwede tayo magpakitaan ng puso at kaluluwa.
Films like Liway and Barber's Tale continued that spirit, showing women not as victims, but as revolutionaries and truth tellers. Even male-centered stories like General Luna started to question toxic masculinity and ego, suggesting that true strength lies in compassion and accountability.
Wala ba tayong karapatang magbuhay ng malaya?
Negosyo o kalayaan, bayan o sarili, pumili ka!
Then came Vice Ganda, a force of nature who turned comedy into a platform for pride, confidence, and social commentary. Through humor, glamour, and honesty, Vice broke the long-standing walls of gender stereotypes in mainstream media. As one of the country's most influential entertainers, Vice made it possible for millions of Filipinos to see LGBTQIA+ people not as jokes, but as stars, thinkers, and trailblazers.
Vice Ganda's presence in primetime is historic. They use laughter to make people comfortable, then use that comfort to talk about equality, politics, and kindness.
From Dolphy's early portrayals to Vice Ganda's fearless confidence, the LGBTQIA+ community has become a vibrant part of Philippine storytelling, paving the way for shows like Drag Race Philippines and films such as Baka Bukas and Die Beautiful. Today, the camera belongs to everyone. Gen Z creators use social media to challenge beauty standards, expose corruption, and call out sexism. Through vlogs, short films, and hashtags, they've transformed the internet into a space of activism and creativity.
We don't wait for TV networks to tell our stories. We tell them ourselves about being queer, being young, and being brave enough to speak truth to power.
Online, LGBTQIA+ voices are louder and prouder. They influence fashion, politics, and culture. They also remind everyone that representation isn't just about who's on screen, but it's about who gets to create the story. The fight for gender equality now intersects with the fight against corruption and inequality. Media has become a battlefield of narratives where truth, justice, and identity collide. From FPJ's righteous heroes to Vice Ganda's unapologetic humor, from Dolphy's quiet trailblazing to Gen Z's online revolution, Philippine media has evolved alongside our fight for equality. Our stories reminds us that power is not just about who wins the fight, but who gets to be seen, heard, and believed. When our films, teleseries, and stories show every gender, every truth, and every act of courage, we create not just entertainment, but transformation. Because real change begins not in politics, but in the stories we dare to tell.